Welcome back to the Top 6 Show. Hit like buttons, get yourself subscribing, and turn on that bell notification button. Really, really important. It's a little bell on the subscribe button. Turn it to all notifications. Turn on notifications on your phone, because if you don't have them turned on your phone for YouTube, you won't get them. And there's literally thousands of you that haven't done that bit, so get it done for us. Loads to talk about on the Top 6 Show today. Ornstein confirms that Newcastle will likely accept the Isak exit, although he's returned to training today. Arsenal with a brand new transfer that's come out of nowhere that is closing in. Another centre-back, though. Is that what Arsenal's focus should be on right now? We're talking Bruno Fernandes. Should Man United take, or more indeed force, the £100 million exit of the club captain? We're looking at Sesko, as it's believed he will pick Manchester United, according to Jan Orge Fjortov, and I say that perfectly, he told me, so thank you, Jan. We're also looking at Tottenham as well after a big injury to James Maddison. What is their next step? First of all, though, got a panel for you here today. Kate and Man Like Nobbins, backed by popular demand. Everyone knows them. They're like the furniture here at the Football Terrace. Quest is back with us again by popular demand, brand new to the channel, Chelsea fan. And Cow is here with us. Guna Cow is on the show as well. David's just joined us now. He was stuck in a little bit of traffic. The Right Honourable David Sharinwa is with us now. But how is everyone? Everyone well and good?
Very well, thank you.
Yep.
Good.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah.
How are you, Terry?
I'm all right. I got a lot done today. I've gone and got some supporting soles for my feet because I keep getting bad Achilles because I'm getting old. And you realize all you youngsters laughing. Wait till you get old. It's funny, right? When I started losing my hair 10 years ago, I was streaming and there was all these young'uns that were like, you're getting bald, right? The amount of them that have reached out to me in the last year going, bro, can you link me up with your hair transplant? Because my hair's going so thin. And it always makes me laugh. So you young'uns laughing at my bad ankles, wait till you're turning 40 and you're getting them. I'm all right. I'm good, mate. You know, can't complain. The football season's around the corner. Channel's going brilliant. Kids are happy. Yeah. So thank you for asking, mate. Love it.
Beautiful.
Love it.
We love to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
It's all good. Thank you. Again, let us know where you're watching from around the world and what you've all been doing today. It's been very horrible and bleak here in the UK. But there we go. Look, I'm going to start with a little bit of Tottenham, actually, today. Because, Kate, big, bad news. I'm not too sure if there's been an update yet to the severity of James Maddison's injury. But you can always tell when it's bad by the way once a player goes down, they don't move. Like whenever you see a player rolling around, typically, you know, it isn't a bad injury. Didn't look good for him. Obviously, you've missed out on Gibbs White as well. What's the plan for Tottenham now in terms of that central attacking role? And obviously, Kulusevski out for a while as well.
I think we need desperately a number 10. We need wingers, we need strikers, we need everything. But the front line now with losing Maddison, I just got no idea where the creativity is coming from. There's a lot of rumours today about Harvey Elliott for 50 million. There's also a lot of rumours about Paqueta, however you want to say it, from West Ham, with Basuma going the other way. I don't know where we go. I mean, it's the same knee that Maddison has had the trouble with. And from the look on his face, the fact that he was in such a state, it looks really serious to me. I think we'll find out more tomorrow when he's had his scans. But Bergvall, I like him very much, but he's too young to step up into that number 10 role. So I think, who knows? But it's an urgent position that needs to be filled. We've got Bayern Munich at the weekend. No, not the weekend, midweek, Thursday. We've got PSG coming up. Do you know what I mean? We haven't got time to sit on our laurels. What is it? 12 days till the season starts for us. So it's a vital position that we need to fill. And it's just going to be weird, like interesting, I suppose, not weird, interesting to see which road we go down, because we need somebody there. We've got Kudus now on one side. We need to get a replacement for Sonny, in my opinion, because Matthias Tell is not that man. So there's lots of work that needs to be done. Eze would be my choice if we could get him, but I think he's set on going to Arsenal, so we'll have to just wait and see.
Qatar would be really fun because I wanted him at City a few years ago, and City were going to get him, but then obviously the gambling situation, whatever it was, it came out and City couldn't touch him then. But he's now been cleared of that, hasn't he? So him, he's also a bit more versatile than the Maddison, who's more of like a traditional sort of like number 10, whereas Paquetá can play that more advanced role, but he can also like play slightly deeper as an 8. I think Thomas Frank would really like that. I don't know if you're linked with him, but he's just been cleared of all that stuff. Oh, I think that'll be a perfect signing then, regardless of even if Maddison didn't get injured. I think that'd be an amazing signing.
It would be, but I've just after us nicking Kudus from West Ham, I don't think they're that keen to deal with us, but they do want Basuma, so there might be room for some manoeuvrability. We'll have to wait and see, but I'd like to get him. I think he's a good player. So,
do you know what I find interesting about Tottenham? Sorry, I was just going to say, do you know what I find interesting about Tottenham? It's like, I feel like they turned the corner, winning the trophy, getting in the manager, and then a few pieces. And then all of a sudden, it's like Maddison's injured, and I feel like they're back to square one. I feel like Sonny leaving, big deal. Kudus obviously coming in, playing right wing, but I know like Chelsea were thinking about getting him, playing him through the 10. So in my head, it was like, oh no, you're fine if you lose a Maddison, because to be fair, he plays about 15 games a season anyway. But all of a sudden, it feels weird. It feels like the United win the other day. I mean, Arsenal win the other day. Felt like, oh, like Tottenham, they're really showing something. And now I'm in my head going, oh, is this going to put them right back to, within 8th and sort of 13th again? I don't know how you feel as a Spurs fan. Like some of my good boys are Spurs fans. I've not spoken to them about the Maddison injury yet, but I just think this feels weird. It feels like a breath has come out of them, and I don't know why, because I would have thought things felt a lot more solid.
Yeah, they do, but it's Tottenham all over. We've got, every time we think we're going forwards, we get another injury or something happens. And Maddison just happens to be, I actually thought he'd be our most improved player this season under Thomas Frank. And straight away he gets injured before we even start. So, but I agree with you. He only plays normally a third of a season anyway. So, I never actually wanted him at the club. I think we need someone who's readily available, best ability is availability, and that's not James Maddison. So, but unless we get a good number 10 in, I think Tottenham are in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, do you know what I think with Spurs? Sorry, go on, Dave.
I was just going to say, what he defines a lot of trouble, because for me, for where Spurs should be aiming, they're well on course to do so. I don't think there's any worry for Spurs. If, in fact, from the small bits I've seen of Spurs, I actually think they're going to do better than I initially thought they were going to do, because I had them like 10th, 11th. Right now, they're on their strong road to 7th. And that would be a good season for them, considering what had happened before. I think, again, people try and almost jump steps to try and get themselves back to where they need to. But Spurs need a lot of work. Yes, I know they won the trophy, but underneath all of that, you look at that squad, they do need a lot of work. So personally, I think they're in quite a good spot. That's just me, but I don't think Maddison's truly that much of a game changer for them. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I like what you said. I like what you said there, David, because I asked that question of Staffy last night, and I'm still yet to get a reply, where he sort of said, basically, our midfield will cost us next season, which is a fair statement. But what you have to do is describe where you think it will be. So in our case, if we bought Belieber or if we bought Edison, where would we be? And without them, where will we finish? So when people say, they're saying a dig at UK, and I'd love to get your view on this. When you say we could be derailed by these injuries, Maddison being out, where does that take you from finishing to finishing? Like, how big an impact do you think that would have? Because if it's, I think we'll get 6th, but we'll end up in 7th. It's not that big a deal in reality. But if you think Maddison being out, is the difference between getting a European position and being in the bottom half of the table, like how bad do you think this could be for you?
Well, I mean, we've got Polinia in, so we've fixed that hole. I think that's a good signing for Spurs. But with Kulusevski being out as well, I think Maddison being injured takes us from a 7th place finish, which I was looking at around there, to the bottom half of the table, because we haven't got a creative number 10. We'll be relying on Bergvall, who is still so young and so inexperienced. So I think it is a case of 5-6 positions that now that we haven't got Maddison or Kulu. Rumours are Kulu could be back in September. Other places you read, they're saying spring. Maddison, you're going to be looking at, I would think, at least 6 months, judging by that. I could be completely wrong, but so we are without that creativity in midfield, and I think that's massive. I think we'll be good defensively next year. I think Thomas Frank's got us set up really well defensively, but I don't know where the goals will be coming from.
Wow, that is a big statement, you know. I can't believe that. Knowing that you've got Solanke, Brennan Johnson was like doing bits last season, I'm like, to think that you're now worried about goals, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, but where do you link? Where does the play link up from defense to the winger?
Are you serious? Like, are you being serious or?
Yeah,
are you just joking? It sounds like you're trolling a little bit.
No, I'm being no, because for me, like watching Tottenham last season, like okay, Solanke got how many goals did Solanke get? He got like 12 or 13 or something across all competitions. Yeah, he done okay at his first season
in all competitions.
Yeah, like that's a decent return for a striker playing his first season at a big six club where he's ready to be there. Because when he went Liverpool, he wasn't ready to be there, right? Then you got. Everyone laughs at Brendan Johnson. I don't know how many Tottenham games you watched. He came up clutch a number of times, and in that Europa League final. So as much as people want to like laugh at Brendan Johnson, he's an all right player. I'm not saying he's like, you know what I mean. I won't put him in the top sort of, I don't know, 40% out of the Premier League wingers, but he's decent. And then of course you got Kulusevski. You had Son last year. I didn't think the Tottenham attack was terrible. I thought it was the defense that was lacking more so every game. Because of course Angie's style was kamikaze football, and they were scoring. So I don't know, maybe I sound mad, but hey, why not?
To be honest, I think Spurs should be doing what Arsenal, what Man City, and what we guys are doing in terms of buying a lot of players now. Because Spurs, you guys won the Europa League, you got Champions League football, so you're getting that money in. So I think you guys should be strengthening like everyone else because you have the opportunity to kind of strengthen your position when the other teams aren't in the Champions League. Because I do think you just need more bodies in. I think you should be going in for a Xavi Simons, something like that, especially because, you know, Maddison got injured, you know, because you guys were, you know, you're trying to get Mongoose White, but you didn't get him. But who are you going to get now? Because you should have been getting him and Kudus. You know, I mean, Kudus is a really good signing, but you should be getting more. That's just my opinion. I think the top 4 spots, they're pretty much almost signed, sealed, and delivered. So getting those other European spots are going to be extremely difficult to get. You know, Newcastle, like if they sell Isak and reinvest, or if they keep Isak, either or, they're still an extremely strong team and a favorite team to get like European football. I think we can't sleep on Aston Villa either. So I think it's quite competitive. I think Manchester United is a dark horse for a European spot. I think they can do it. They have the quality, and from what I've been seeing in pre-season, they're playing much better football. So I think Spurs should be investing now and trying to get ahead of the curve. I don't think they can sit back. That's just my opinion.
What about 40 million, Jack Grealish?
Come on, Kate. Come on, Kate. You know you want to. He could fill that void.
I did read today that Tottenham have contacted City about the possibility of loaning him with an option to buy.
Well, that's not good enough. Option to buy, okay, that's fine.
I'll do it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I take him at the minute. He's better than what we've got, so I take him all day long.
You'd take it. One Europa League, and they think they're Real Madrid.
That's treble winner Jack Grealish you're talking about. Show some respect.
He's also the party boy. That's what makes me nervous about Jack Grealish. I'm not sure he's still got that love of the game that he had before.
Yeah, I would also say just on that, because I was just looking at Spurs' like goal scorers last season. Like Maddison was your second highest goal scorer in the league with 9. We all know Grealish isn't really going to help with the direct goal scoring necessarily, even though I still like him as a player, and I think he could do a good job somewhere. If you're looking for like a replacement for Maddison to come in and score some goals, then Grealish is not going to be that player. So you're losing, as I say, your second highest goal scorer for a player who isn't associated with scoring goals. So that might, in all seriousness, it might not be the best fit if it's a like for like sort of replacement.
Yeah, I'd still go for a Johan Wissa if it was me. He can play left wing, right wing, and as a forward. And as a 10, I think.
Yeah, Wissa's the one, you know. I mean, maybe not until United gets Sesko sorted. Like, I don't want to piss Newcastle off even more, but who's more attractive? I want to throw this out to the audience, and I'm going to throw it to the panel. Who is more attractive to sign for Wissa? Newcastle or Tottenham?
Tottenham, because he ain't got to move house. And he knows the manager. And he's worked under the manager before. So I'm going Spurs all day long.
I think Newcastle just because
for Wissa, it's Spurs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
not in general, but for Wissa specifically, it is Spurs.
It depends. For me, I don't trust Daniel Levy. I feel like if you join Newcastle and you buy into the project, you have a stronger chance of success.
We won a trophy last year, a European trophy, let me tell you.
You've forgotten. As of today, that's more an anomaly than a trend. So,
if I was I'll go Spurs, me personally, I can't lie. Because I just feel like if I go Newcastle, and I'm not Isak, I'm finished.
Yeah.
If I don't produce half of what he produces, I've got like 6 to 7 weeks before they start chucking it. Like, they're gonna be on my neck. So for me, it's a safe move. It's very, very safe. But if I was Wissa, I'd be thinking, listen, let me go work with somebody I've worked with before, someone that trusts me, I trust him. I go to a team where they are looking upwards. Newcastle, I feel like, are in a little bit of a position where they have to survive at this where they're at right now in order to be able to push on a little bit again. Just with all the signings they've missed out on, the way the club looks right now, they need to stabilize. With Spurs, they're looking ahead. So really, like, you've almost got a free shot. Like, Solanke might start ahead of you a couple of games. If you just do better than him, you'll be all right. People will love you. And again, if you go and win like a Carabao Cup, or I don't know, you win. You even if you went and won a Super Cup, trophies are trophies. People will love you for that. So if I was Wissa, I'll go them. But that's just me personally. I don't know.
Colton here says that Spurs struggled with depth in Europe. Champions League is a whole new level. Reinforcements needed, or they are very likely to miss out on Europe altogether.
Son's going as well, isn't he? Isn't that been confirmed?
Yeah, Son's going as well.
Yeah,
he's gone there. Yeah, so that's another one of your main goal scorers from last season.
Yeah,
like gone in addition to Maddison.
And they were all watched.
Maddison, I actually don't think is a huge loss. I'll be honest. But that's just me talking to my Tottenham friends. Like, we regularly talk about.
But he is objectively, in respect of goal scoring, he's the second highest goal scorer last season in the league.
And if Maddison plays well, we usually win. So
yeah, Maddison is
fair. I don't watch them every week, so I can't even. But I just feel like because I'm like Midlands, right? There's a lot of Leicestershire fans around me.
I'm a Midlands as well.
Yeah, even when he was at Leicester, it was the same conversation. It was like, Maddison's basically going to give you like 5, 6, 7 games a season, where he's on top form. And out of however many games he plays, he's going to go on a run of like 2 or 3. And then he's probably going to get injured. Then he's going to say something stupid in the media, and then you're going to lose. So for me, losing Maddison is not as bad as losing. I would say losing Kulusevski is bigger than losing Maddison. Because for me, when the games that I did see of Spurs last year, and talking to my friends that are Spurs fans, Kulusevski was the guy. When Son wasn't producing or Brennan wasn't producing, or I know people are laughing at me for saying Brennan Johnson, but Kulu's the guy. But that's just my opinion anyway.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would agree with you on that. This year from Seb, he says Spurs will be fighting for top 6. Frank is quality. He's a very good manager. Yes,
I think he's one of the best coaches in the league.
Yeah, with the right signings, I don't think that's out of the question, top 6. But I'm going for around 7th myself.
He needs to be backed.
Yeah, I think he will be. I think there's a lot of panic in the Tottenham fan base at the minute, as always. But I think he will get 2 or 3 more signings through the door. Just see who they are.
Spurs were the only team in the top 5 leagues to have 5 or 6 players to have over 20 GA in all competitions. Goals probably not the issue. Yeah, I look. What I would say to that, Mark, is there is truth to it. But there is a difference between scoring in the Europa League and playing in the Champions League. There's a difference in intensity. There's a different. That's why I always get frustrated when teams moan about Thursday, Sunday. I'm like, you wait until you've got to play your first team on a Wednesday and your first team on a Saturday. I think that's harder than, because both Spurs and Man United both rotated a lot for those league, especially, and some of the teams both of us played in the league phase were poor quality teams. In fact, you could argue that about the knockout stages when you looked at how we were both doing in the league compared to what we were doing in Europe. So, yeah, it's a different test next year for a much different test for Spurs. There's no doubt about that. Moving on from Spurs, there's been an update since we've been live, actually, in relation to Benjamin Sesko. And it's now claimed that Newcastle United want an answer from Sesko within the next 48 hours. Newcastle now confident they can reach an agreement with Leipzig, but have no plans to allow the saga to drag on into the latter parts of the week without clarity. United still in the race. Leipzig waiting for a formal offer, but as stated, Man United won't make a formal offer until the player has made his decision. How do we see this one panning out? Because Newcastle are now pushing for an answer. The likes of Jan Fjortov have said that they keep being told United are the preference, but the player is still now, it's been kind of 4 or 5 days since the claims were made that United were favourites, the claims that it was going to take a few days. We're now like at the end of Monday in terms of it being a business day. How do you see this one going, David? What is Sesko going to pick? Because it is going to come down to who he picks. I don't think it's going to be about who wins the race with Leipzig, because United won't even bid until he picks. So how do you see this one panning out?
Again, if I look at this summer, the trend is that he's going to go to United because Newcastle are getting rejected left, right, and centre. They're just the ugly guy in the club. Sorry, guys. It's a shame. It's a shame. You moved up to the big boys, and now you've realised that you're not that guy. So you're going to have to shop in the smaller pool down there. Go. If a big club wants your player, then keep it stepping. So unfortunately, even though I love Sesko, he's going to end up at United, which I would argue might be worse for his career, but that's a different conversation. I think Sesko himself will choose Manchester United.
Yeah, I think the same. I think he's going United. I think he's going United. I think he's going United.
Yeah, let him my panel speak.
I think it's the I actually do think it's the better move right now. I just think, Newcastle, and every club goes through it. Newcastle are in their period of, this is their tumultuous period. They have to get through this, come out the other side stable, and then they can kick on again. But unfortunately, as you said, David, right now, Newcastle, the guy at the bar who's been buying drinks, and nobody has said yes yet. He's got 7 shots in front of him, and everyone's walking away. And if he's not careful, he's going to keep going, and his card is going to decline in front of the real pretty one. And that's what I'm worried about for Newcastle. They're going to keep selling themselves. Players are going to keep rejecting, and then all of a sudden they're going to look really undesirable. And before you know it, they're in a position where clubs are going, oh, well, why would I go Newcastle? Because people don't like them. That's my worry with Newcastle. So for me, it's like, if I was Sesko now, United's a free punt. You go there, the club's rebuilding. Cunha's just gone there, and Buemo's just gone there. Amorim's a top manager. Maybe he needs to prove it a bit more, but you're the striker, and you've just got to be better than Xerxes and Højlund. It cannot be that hard. It can't be. If it is, then maybe you're just not that good enough. But if I was Sesko, I'd go United.
You also don't have to replace anyone from again, if Isak leaves, if Newcastle gets Sesko, we assume that Isak leaves, because then it's there's 2 of them in there.
Yeah.
And you don't have to replace that output. You just, again, you literally have to be better than Rasmus, and that is not difficult. But if he goes to Newcastle, then everyone's kind of like, you are our savior. Come and sort this out. Yeah, everyone who said, "Oh, you sell Isak, your team's gonna get better," everyone's now watching you. And if he could take that pressure and put it in his stride, and then as I think he could be.
What's at the fees? Wait, are you guys suggesting that playing for Newcastle is going to be more pressure than playing for Manchester United? Is that what? Is that?
Yes, because you're replacing Isak.
No, I'm not saying overall, but I'm saying in the context of trying to replace. Again, if he goes to United, there's the pressure of playing for United, but in the grand scheme of things, all he has to do is beat out some very mid-level strikers, and then he'll be starting, and he can get that under his feet. And bear in mind, and also United finished 17th last year, What 15?
15.
15. Sorry, 15. They can't. You started the weekend in that space. I wasn't looking down there. Anyway, my point is they can only get better unless they get relegated. So it's like for him personally, it's like he's not got much to worry about. But if he goes to Newcastle, yeah, he's got the pressure of playing in the new league and this, that, and the other. And obviously the pressure playing for Newcastle is not as big as United. But there is that pressure of saying you've now got to replace the output of this guy that's just gone for 150 mil, which I think
I don't.
Different type of.
Can I say this? I want to go to Nobbins' question in a minute, but I don't have the pressures harder. But this is what I would say: if he goes to Newcastle and replaces Alexander Isak, Newcastle fans will love him, and then that's kind of it. Where if he goes to Man United and makes it work, he becomes a global superstar. That's the one thing, and this is not a dig at Newcastle. Like Isak, it's taken 3 or 4 years, and everyone really likes him, but he's not a global superstar yet. The second he puts on that Liverpool shirt, his life changes, and I still think that's something that all of our clubs, probably barring Tottenham, have on this panel, and to different degrees. But I still think Spurs have that. Spurs had a bad year last year, but let's be honest. If you go over the last 10 years, outside of the other members of the traditional top 6, who's bigger and better and more prestigious in England than Spurs? And yes, there's some clubs that have won the Champions League 30, 40 years ago, but Spurs, and there's still there's levels to it. The food chain, as we discussed on Straight Facts this morning, but that's the one thing I would say. And again, if I'm trying to convince Sesko, which I'm kind of doing here, there's pressure at both clubs. You deliver at Newcastle, you'll become a folk hero. You could even become a legend. Then you're going to get big clubs want you. All the rivals will rate you if you're doing well at Newcastle, and that will do you well. But if you want real stardom, you actually need half the country to hate you. You think about Messi and Ronaldo and their great partnership. Now that's the sort of the standout example, loved by most football fans, but there's millions of football fans that hate the other one. Why? Because of a rivalry. That wouldn't have happened if one of them was playing for Real Sociedad. It's the club that you play for as well that generates it. So United got, listen, I said a lot. I think United will get it done. But Newcastle were in the race, and I'm not writing them off completely, even though I think Man United will win this race. I'll be rather embarrassed if we don't. I've said it already. If Vale can't convince the player after knowing him, knowing his family, if we can't use the fact that 2 players already have turned them down for us, we can't hit that hat trick and bring him in and fix our front line, then I'd sack Vale. Just knee-jerk reaction, probably over the top, but I'd just sack him for the sake of it. It's one of the, how like in certain sorts of autocratic governments around the world, like an aide can be with that president or that king for 20 years, and they make one mistake at dinner and they're gone. You ever watch the Snow in the Hunger Games? His lieutenant let him down, so he poisons his drink. I'd kind of do something like that, metaphorically, not literally, metaphorically for the toaster people. But sorry, Nobbins, you had a question you wanted to ask about the fee or something?
I just wanted to know what's being quoted, what realistically, how much is he actually going to cost? Whoever, I was just interested. I didn't know. 75 to 80 million euros base, so around the mid 60 mark base. They reckon it'll be 5 to 10 million add-ons. What they are saying is that there'll be they want a sell-on clause. So they want a sell-on clause on that as well. What's really interesting though is, again, and I know Newcastle fans think that Fabrizio has just been a liar this year, but he keeps talking about how Leipzig's dream replacement is Rasmus Højlund. That's also why I feel like we've got a decent chance here. And maybe part of us being a little slow is convincing. I don't think we need to convince. Maybe that's why Dorgu didn't pass to him last night. Maybe the players said, right, we're just not going to pass to him. We're going to force him out because we want Benjamin Sesko. But it's really funny. I saw United fans defending that. And literally, there was United fans saying that there's no way he could have made the pass. The pass was impossible. The pass would have got cut out. Terry, I can't believe you're back. And I've never ever in my life seen a sort of conversation like that. But at the same time, I know that if we went and we signed Sesko tomorrow and any player didn't square the ball to him, the same people defending Dorgu would be like, no. They'd go from defending him to criticizing him. Why are you not setting our striker up to score a goal? And I want to show you guys the image in case you ain't seen the game. No one can gaslight me into telling me that there's a centre-back in between the 2 players, and everyone said he closed the passing lane down.
I can't believe that passing lane's closed. Maybe I'm being. People keep telling me, no, you got to look at the other angle, Terry. It's like, no, bruv. He put a little curvature on that pass into that area. Rasmus was running in. It's a tap in.
But Terry, do you know what though? Having played ball, do you know what I think is going through Dorgu's head? I think he's ended up shoulder to shoulder with a guy, and he's just thinking, "I've got to lash you." I don't even think he's thought about the pass. I don't even think he's seen Højlund. I hear you.
I agree with you. It's a, and that's the thing. I'm not saying I don't literally think he looked up, went fuck that, and shot. It's a bad decision, and this is the irony that Man United fans are so broken right now. We're so fucked because if Ahmad took the shot and missed, he'd be defended. No, he's right to take the shot. If Bruno took the shot and didn't score, he'd be publicly crucified by Man United fans. We're going through this process at the minute of, if we like a player, we'll defend them to the hilt. If we're jaded or tired with a certain player, we're going to ruin them. We're going to ruin them, even if their decision making is right. Because I had United fans in my group chat last night. Ahmad gave the ball away 3 times early in the game. One of them nearly led to Everton going clean for on goal. And they're literally like, come on, Ahmad, improve, mate. Bruno lost the ball. You fucking wanker. You a fucking rat. Get out my... I'm sitting there like, who calls their own player who calls their own player a rat? Like, I've never really understood that. Like, I don't really kind of get it. Maybe in the moment we all do those kind of things. But yeah, I think we'll get him. I wanted to ask you guys as well. What do you make of this report that another Saudi club's coming in for Bruno Fernandes? Bruno Fernandes has said that he wants to stay for at least 1 more year. So it's not, I want to spend the next 5 years here. He wants 1 more year. There's talk of a bid would come in the region of 100 million. Kate, should Man United push for this? Should they push the player out and try and take 100 million?
I don't know how you get a player and push them out if they don't want to leave. This is the problem Tottenham have with the likes of Richarlison. How do you get a player to go if they don't want to leave? And he obviously wants to stay playing at the highest level. He's your club captain at the end of the day. Look, I think Man United are a worse team if he goes. I think he's consistently brings in the numbers year in, year out. So, I mean, I just think you're mad if you let him go. But at the same time, 100 million is an enormous amount of money that you probably won't ever get offered again for him. I don't know. So, but I don't think you can force a player out if they don't want to leave. And it's no way to treat your captain, is it, really? And he's the captain of your team, and now you're just trying to kick him out for some money. It's a bit, I don't know, it just don't sit that well with me, but it's not my team at the end of the day.
No,
I mean, Terry, you want to see him go.
You should stay for 100 million and improve the squad. That's what Newcastle fans have heard all summer. He should be gone. He should be gone.
Look, there is a yes and a no in this. We discussed this on the match reaction last night. If we can go out and get Belieber with the money, then you go, that I think improves the balance of our team with Cunha and Mbumo in the 10s. Go and get the striker. The one issue I've got is I think Man United fans labor under this illusion. They're living, they think they're living in Hogwarts. They're living in this imaginary wizardry world. And the example I give is this: if none of you do this, but if you sit there and bite your lip, you can feel the pain. But if you then, whilst you're biting your lip, pinch your arm really hard, your lip stops hurting, your arm does. That's Man United. We'll sell Bruno. We'll take that 100 mil. We'll get the striker in. We'll buy Belieber, and we'll go yay. And then we start to go, oh shit, where's the creativity? As in the player like Bruno, who created since he joined the Premier League more chances than KDB per 90 minutes. And I use KDB as a measuring stick because he is, in my opinion, the greatest attacking midfielder in Premier League history. But Bruno created more than he did. We'd suddenly miss that, and it would be the new thing to moan about. Why don't we fix that? Because we had someone that did that role. The problem is there is no quick fix to our squad problems. So it's one of these things that I don't even disagree with David. If we're going to do it, let's take that money, let's invest it, let's get the striker, let's get Belieber, let's get a goalkeeper. Say we're struggling for the finances right now. But I think what we have to do with that money, if we sold Bruno, is find someone who's a midfielder, who's got a high level of output in terms of chance creation, breaking those attacking lines, because it would now be now suddenly we've got someone who can progress the ball, someone who can carry the ball, which is a problem. But what we'd be losing is someone that creates in very, very high volumes. And in Bumo and Cunha score goals, and they do create, but they haven't yet. It's not provable. It's not a provable fact that they create to the same level as Bruno, which is why I think Bruno is committing one more year. Because I think the conversations have been, maybe we do want to cash in on you, but we can't afford to lose your creativity. Because I think this is the issue with Man United for me. No one's wrong in terms of the holes that they found. But the way people talk about it, it's if we fix this, watch us cook. And I think everyone's wrong in that regard. We can fix our attack. We'll win a lot more games, but we're still going to concede. We're not going to dominate games how we want. We could fix the midfield and we'll control it. We'll end up being like LVG's Man United if we just fix the midfield. If we went out and spent all our money on if we went and got Wharton, Hackney, Belieber, that midfield that'd be very hard to overpower and run through that midfield. But then we'd become a little bit more like LVG's United. Lots of the ball, lots of domination, hard to break down and hard to penetrate, but we wouldn't score enough goals. We'd be back in, what I'd call friend zone football for a period. And then you'd have everyone moaning, we need more creators, we need more attackers. Yes, we know that as well. Equally, you could fix both those areas and we're still then going to leak cheap goals because I still think we need to improve our defenders and we need a better goalkeeper. There's so many holes in this squad. There was no way with our financial problems of fixing everything. And I keep seeing these threads of we can't plug any holes. We have to just, if you don't want to plug any holes, if you don't want a stopgap player, then it's going to take 2 or 3 years to build this squad out. And I think Man United fans have got to realize that. So I'm not against what people say when it comes to selling Bruno. I just need them to understand that you'd solve one problem, but you'd then be highlighting another in this squad. And it's a little bit, it's a little bit, I'm trying to think of the analogy, but you ever watch those cartoons where someone's trying to fix a leak and they fix one hole and then another pipe starts leaking. They fix that and another part starts leaking. That's how we are. And it's going to be that way for a while. I think United fans have I've been in this space of not acceptance of remaining there, but understanding this for a long time. I still think Man United fans think we're a couple of really good midfielders away from challenging or being an amazing team. I think they're deluding themselves. It's a number of years still to fix it. So I'm not against it. I'm not even saying I'm for it. I understand why we might do it, but I think United fans have got to keep their feet firmly on planet Earth, not Hogwarts. This ain't the Marvel universe. This isn't Disneyland. It's going to take a long time to fix us with or without Bruno being here. And I think that's the bit that's sort of eluding a lot of people's minds for me personally.
Terry, go on, you go.
Yeah, I just want to say that I think if you're getting 100 million plus for Bruno, I think you should sell him just because I don't think Bruno is going to be here when you guys are challenging again. I think if you have the opportunity because I think United are in some financial problems in terms of trying to rebuild the squad. You don't have the cash or FFP or whatever you need. So I think with Amorim here and he's still fresh, I think just biting the bullet, cashing him out now and using that money reinvested to build the kind of team that Amorim wants to build. I think that's what you should be doing because I don't think Bruno is going to be with this team when you guys are challenging again. That's how I feel about it.
I do understand that. And I'm not even saying that you're wrong. My challenge back is this. Man United fans will want blood if we don't win enough games. We can have a better midfield and control more matches, but I still don't think we'll win enough games. What we need is goal scorers and chance creators short term, better, stronger midfield, medium to long term. And I'm putting that over a 3 to 4 year period, medium to long term. So as we go into next year, which is our 3rd year, that's where every single penny for me will have to be spent primarily on making that midfield as good as it can be. Sort of what Chelsea did. Enzo, Caicedo, Lavia, Palmer. We have to have a kind of summer like that where we go, Bruno's gone, Casa's gone, maybe Ugate's gone. And it's got to be, I mentioned those 4 names because they're at the tip of my tongue right now, but it would have to be a summer where you went bang with by, sort of when Chelsea did it when they got like Enzo and then they got Caicedo. It almost needs to be like that where it's bang, Wharton, bang, Belieber, bang, someone like a Hackney or a new name may come through by then. That's what we'd have to go and do. The problem is we just don't have the money. If we didn't have the debt of all the bad spending that came before Ineos, if we didn't have the debt that the Glazers put upon us, there'd be more than enough money to go out and sort both positions in one summer. We could probably spend 400 or 500 million, but that's where sometimes, as angry as Man United fans are, You have to live in the reality of your situation, as opposed to sort of the living in that utopia of where you want to be. Sorry, Nobbin, you were going to ask me something, mate. Sorry.
I was just going to say that the way I view it is that one of the main problems United have is on the Fernandes question is you've sort of got to pick your side of, do you trust in Amorim's setup and style of football, or do you trust in like Bruno Fernandes's individual abilities? Because naturally, the way that Amorim's using Fernandes is it's not really suited to his skill sets. Like, he's playing him a lot deeper of late in that sort of midfield too, like behind the 2 10s. Now, I would have thought that he would have used Fernandes as one of those 2 10s, where Mbeumo and Cunha are now currently playing. Obviously, those signings suggest that's not going to be the case. So that means that now you've got Fernandes, who isn't, this like box-to-box 8. He's like far more of like a traditional 10, whatever, at his best, being asked to be that player, which I don't think he is. He's still very good at and decent at it, but he's not naturally suited to it. The only way that you can sort of make that work, to me, is by partnering him with someone who can basically do all of that running for him, and that is this Belabor type player. The other central midfield options at United, please let me know if I've missed anyone, are Ugarte, who I just don't think is like good enough fundamentally, and there's Mainu, who is absolutely good enough, but I don't think that he and Fernandes is a partnership that actually works and is balanced. Have I missed anyone? Are there any other central midfielders?
There's obviously Cass there as well. You're absolutely right in what you say. Yeah. The problem that we've got is we have players that are, for instance, Ugarte isn't good enough on the ball. He isn't good enough at carrying the ball. He isn't good enough at progressing the ball. Defensively, in terms of breaking up play, winning the ball back, he is one of the best in the world. The eye and the stats back this up. If you look at the percentiles, he's in the top 90 to 99 percentile of sort of interceptions, tackles, recovering the ball, winning the ball back. But it's his progressive nature that's poor. The problem you have with Mainu's the only other he's the most we've got that's complete, in the sense of he's a good passer, but not amazing variety of passing. I actually think his ball carrying and his ball progression can be and should be better than where it is. But he can also win the ball back. He's good at it. But it's almost, I think we're at a point with Mainu. Similarly, and I worry about this with him, that we end up doing to him like we did with McTominay for years. We keep trying him in everything, and we take too long to find his best role. And in the end, with Scott, we all found it was that box-crushing central midfield player, and he is one of the best in Europe at doing that particular role. We haven't found what he's best at. The problem that we've got is that we don't have someone who's a brilliant DM, who's also good at carrying and progressing the ball, like a Caicedo, like a Belabor. And it is that imbalance, and we need to go out this summer. And it's been on the agenda all summer long. That's an area we will look to tackle. The scary element is that we've not had a single player linked to us, barring Edison early on in the window. Indeed, he was a name mentioned. Outside of that, we're literally linked to no one. So you sort of sit there, and the one player that I'm hoping it is, because I know it isn't going to be Belabor, and this is also where United fans have got to get with the program. Ben Jacobs spoke about this and said that Brighton are just not going to sell him unless it was 120 plus million. And United ain't got the cash for that. So if he is the dream, but next summer you could get him for 80 million, I still believe we're better off waiting rather than getting someone who isn't as good, say 60 million, and then you watch him trundle off to a rival at 80 million a year later and you think, oh, fuck, we should have waited here a little bit. But that's where we've got a real problem in terms of controlling the games. We will get caught on counter-attacks a lot. And the club has gone for a certain strategy, which I see the flaws in, but I also understand it. It's not quite chaos football, because it's never going to be like Big Ange was last year. Last night we had 60% of the ball. We were the more aggressor. It's very much an approach of, can we add 30 or 40 more goals, win more matches, shoot up the table, keep the fans on side, keep the squad motivated. And then I think next summer, finances should be again in a better situation, as we've lowered the wage bill massively. There's been all the cuts, and then you go out and fix that area. Again, we could have gone the other way and done the midfield first, had more control, but then I still think we'd be moaning, and I still think the same people moaning would be sitting there going, how are we going to score goals? How are we going to... That's my issue with it. I don't think if we went and improved the midfield first, the people currently moaning would be sitting there going, it's okay, guys, we've done the midfield. Next year it'll be the attack. Let's all relax. I still think their frustration would be the same. So, yeah, I get it, and I understand it, and I'm not defending the club. even if it sounds that way. I'm just pointing out the reality of the situation. I just knew how long this was going to take. And I think there's more than one way to skin a cat. I don't mind the approach we're going with. I've been asking for it. I think we'll win a lot more games than last year. But I'm not going to lie. I feel like Tom Skinner a little bit. I'm a little bit, I'm a little bit, I'm a little bit, I feel a bit about it, right? But it's weird because after the West Ham and the Bournemouth game, I was really excited. Weren't as good last night and panicking again. And we beat Fiorentina and looked good on Saturday. We'll all probably feel really relaxed again. And that's I think the issue with being a Man United fan right now. We're on tenterhooks consistently. So, yeah, but we'll see what happens with that. Viewers, listen, we'd love to get your views. We'd love to get your opinions on that one in the comments section below. A few super chats here. Oh, Lou. It says, why do you assume United fans don't understand? Maybe we do understand, and with the understanding we have come to a different conclusion than you. So I would say this, you may understand, but I think anybody that is talking in terms, and language is important, especially when you're a podcaster, because literally our job is language and speaking. So when somebody sits there and says, we are absolutely finished this year if we don't get a central midfield player, I need to understand what they mean by being finished. And the few people that have answered me back have said it's make or break. It's either a brilliant season or a terrible one. I think that is too simplistic. I look at that and go, you don't realize how many more holes there are in this squad to think that one very good midfielder and we are going to be this fantastic team. So that's why I think they have come to a different conclusion to me, because they don't understand the severity of the problems. The reason I also say that, Lou, is these are the same people that don't understand the importance of not overpaying for players, making negotiations hard and long, not rolling over and having our bellies tickled. Another key fundamental pillar in why we are where we are right now. The same people that seem to say this about the midfield, the same ones that don't care about the finances, just get the players in, it's not my money. So I look at a pattern when I see people saying this, and you don't fit that category, Lou. But I see a pattern with people saying this, and they're ignoring so many of the root cause problems that led us to be where we are. Then I ask them questions, because I don't like to assume. Then I ask them a question of, can you define what that bad season goes from and to? No reply. I'm like, so why do you think the overspending? Why do you think bowing down? And why do you think, for instance, there were people saying to me, we're terrible negotiators. We should have just got rid of Rasmus to Inter Milan when they offered. They offered £10 million, which would have been a £40 million loss, which meant the sale of Rasmus would have led to us not being able to buy anybody. Why is that the right action? Because then we just got him out. It just looks better. So they're more worried about how it looks from a banter point of view online to what helps the club. So when I get a lot of these responses from people, they're entitled to them. They're allowed to have them. I won't ever shut anyone's opinion down from being able to speak it. But I have to look at it and go, they don't understand the root cause problems at Manchester United when the majority... Another example, a lot of the same people I'm talking to and who I'm speaking of. Now, if you're not someone who's interacted with me about this, I'm not talking about you. So don't take it offensively. But when I hear them say, let's just cut our ties with Amorim, let's go back to 4-2-3-1, and look, we just ain't got the money to build a squad. So let's just plug some holes and let's adapt to what we've got. And I go, yep, you don't understand the root cause problems at the club, because that would be doing what we've failed at for the last 13 years. So when I hear these solutions and these suggestions, and I hope this is a rounded answer for you, all I keep seeing is people wanting us to repeat the same mistakes that have led to us being 15th in the league. So therefore, I have to, at the very least, assume that you don't understand what's ruined this football club. Because if you did, why would you ask for those practices to be undertaken again? I hope that answers... Lou, I've got a lot of respect for you, but I hope that answers your question. And by the way, I don't think I have all the solutions. I'm just more inclined to want to try something different. And I'm all up... By the way, I'm up for us dropping... If we drop Sesko now and got Belieber, I'm up for it. But then I'm also very aware we're not going to score as many goals as we will with Sesko. So, and then the same people moaning will then go, well, why don't we do that? Because we can't. And they're the same people that want us to sell for a loss so we have even less money to buy players with. It's the logic don't make none of it. When you start adding it all together, it's broken logic for me. It's fallacy stuff. And I know what they want. I've got a straw in here that I use for throat exercises. They want a magic wand and they want to go Expelliarmus and we're sorted. It's never going to happen like that. Expecto Patronum, and then we're fixed. It's not going to happen. It's not. I'm sorry to say this to people. I've been right about this stuff for such a long time. I am going to double down on it. I told everybody, just sacking manager doesn't fix Manchester United. I told everybody, if we bring a manager in with a set style of play and he abandons it and the club don't force him into playing it or get rid of him, we'll never get any better. I've said this stuff for years and it's been ignored. And we are now where we are. It's the first time in 13 years we're actually trying something different. And not enough people have got the patience to persevere with it. So that's why I see it very differently to a lot of people, I think. All panning up to Jackson to Newcastle for 70 million. I wouldn't be surprised if you bums did that. I wouldn't be surprised if you bums did that, you know. You guys are crazy with your deals right now. During Arsenal's recruitment of Sesko, there was talks about him wanting a release clause for a bigger club. This may help Newcastle if true. Yeah, and equally, I wouldn't want him. So if he comes to Man United and wants a release clause, if he comes to Man United and wants anything like that, I say Man United walk away. I say we walk away and we put that money in a midfielder, or we pivot to another striker, because I don't want to play like that in my club. I don't care where people think we are. That's just my standards. Sorry for having some. Chelsea will earn over 100 million from Felix, Dewsbury Hall, Chukwuemeka, Broja and George, who ain't even first team players. Yeah, you lot, David and Quest, you guys are about to make a lot of money through sales, aren't you?
We're the best selling club in the world. The best selling club in the world. When you see, you know, when you start the window and people are going, oh, Chelsea have so many players, and you see the list and it's people are like, oh, there's 15 players they've got to get rid of. I have no worries that we will not get rid of those 15 players because we just always do it. I mean, Arsenal always help. That's always a bonus because, you know, they give us full price for players that we're not, you know, I'm not too impressed by. And then we're very good at getting 30 mil, 35 mil. I saw a tweet earlier today that said, apparently all of our sales today would go into Arsenal's top 10 sales of all time. That if that doesn't put into perspective why we can spend so much money compared to others, then I don't think people quite get how football works nowadays. Well, we're just good at selling people.
Hang on a minute, David, hang on a minute. How do you know that people don't understand about the selling of football and they might just come to a different conclusion to you? Sorry.
Because it's funny because people literally sit there and go like, oh, Chelsea spent 1.5 billion. How have they done this? And it's like, I mean, if you look at the other side, Chelsea have outsold everyone by like 300 mil. So, of course, they can then spend a lot more than everybody else. And it's not like sales and buying players and selling players is worth the same. It's like you buy a player and it's like 7 mil a year, but you sell a player and he's worth 30 mil. So, effectively, the more you sell, the more you can spend. So, Chelsea are very good at what they do. We're the best selling club in the world. We get money for players that sometimes they don't even do well. We still get money. Some clubs should take notes because it just puts you in a position where, yeah, you can have a bad run, but if you keep doing the right processes, you'll get back on track in some way, some form. Just saying.
Yeah, man.
Which of those players have you made a profit on out of interest? Because I genuinely don't know.
Madwakey, number one.
Felix.
Yes.
Felix.
I think we made like 2 mil on that.
If it like sorts itself out. KDH is literally like break even. Angelo Gabriel we made money on. I want to say
I don't even know who that is.
No, exactly.
So that's very impressive. To be fair,
my point is like there are like 3 Brazilians. We bought Diego Moreira for free. And then sold him for 5 mil to Strasbourg. Is it legal? No. Probably not. But
it's legal, bro.
On the books, it's a profit. So my point is that we're very good at finding the loopholes and exploiting them. And to be honest, I have no problem with that. If you're not breaking rules, if you Chelsea just clearly have people that understand how the system works. I don't think other clubs have those people. Because we are just we shouldn't realistically, you should not be able to buy and sell players between Strasbourg and Chelsea, and it just be okay. But somehow I think we've done that 4 times already. Just in this transfer window, I personally don't think you should be able to do that. But the rules are the rules, and until that rule is shut, by all means, exploit
Is it because Strasbourg aren't in a UEFA competition? Is that why?
We're not in the same competition. They nearly made it last year, and I was looking at I was like, I love this team. I think this team's great. Like, you guys have got good vibes over there, but you guys need to start losing a little bit, because they were in second and third at one point, and I was like, these two can't be in the same competition. But yeah, no, we're very good at not taking big losses. We might take a loss. But yeah, we lose out 5 mil on the occasion, but I don't think you very rarely end up with like 20 mil, 30 mil losses. The big one is Madrid. I just don't know what happens with the old Madrid thing. But
yeah,
I think what Chelsea's done, they've kind of maximized the opportunity to do what they've been doing. I don't think they can do that anymore. So because Chelsea was kind of crap for the last couple of years, they could afford to buy all these young players, show them off in some of the European competitions, play them in like other games and stuff like that. But now, and because you're showing off your players and you're getting money for them, you can accumulate the funds to now and buy some better players now. And I don't think you can do that anymore. It's only teams that like Brighton, which are like extremely happy staying in those lower league positions, playing in maybe lower European competitions, where you can just show off your players and the whole point is to sell. Because now that you guys are in Champions League and you're actually I think you guys are going to try to win the league this season. I think at least the players are. I don't think you can afford to just have a lot of players not being showcased ever on your bench, because before you could showcase them, but now that you're in Champions League, I don't think you can. So I don't think you guys are going to continue buying these like, $10 million players and selling them for 30. I don't think that's like moving forward. I don't think that's going to happen.
You wait, man.
I was going to say,
how would you be able to sell them, dude? That's impossible.
Because
you can't play these guys in Champions League nights. You just can't.
But you got to understand what Chelsea is now. Sorry to just because you got to understand, right? We've gone from people are laughing at us. It's always about the joke, but the problem is when you keep winning, what Chelsea has now transitioned into is we're now an elite talent pool. So where Jamie Carragher was trying to, get his little clips at the start of last season saying, what young players have to start doing is they've got to stop going to Chelsea. There's no project over there. You see what he tried to do over there, yeah? He was so misguided. He was so short-sighted too, because what he didn't understand is because we keep winning and because good players keep coming to the club, what you're effectively building is an environment where the best young talent are always going to look at Chelsea as an option. So even if I go to Chelsea and it doesn't work out for me, what I'm effectively doing is I'm putting myself in a place where the way I'll be advertised just by being at Chelsea is going to mean so many more open doors for me. That's just how it's going to be. So look at KDH, for instance. Yeah, great example. Comes up from Leicester. Probably should have worked out, to be honest, under Maresca's system, but just didn't for whatever reason. He gets a move to Everton. He might have got that move on his own, but you're guaranteed that move because people have seen you at Chelsea. That's what's going to happen over the next 5-6 years. Chelsea will continue to buy these 10 mil, 5 mil, 6 mil players, because if you listen to Bowley when he took over, his whole thing was Chelsea want to be at the forefront of the market. They don't want to be at the mercy of the market. Chelsea's strategy includes buying these players. It won't stop. It will only continue. And what they'll do is...
You can't do that, though. You can't do that.
You can do that, because what
you can't do that and be like as... You can't win everything and do that at the same time. Like, you just can't do that.
You've got a squad of 11 players that are growing already. You've got your Cucurellas, you've got your Enzos, you've got your Caicedos. That 11 plus your 3 or 4s, whoever comes on as subs, right? That's growing on its own. You add pieces as you go. It grows organically. The higher and higher it grows, the older and older it goes. You just replace, you just move, you just replace, you just move. This is a model that I'll be honest, if most clubs don't start adopting, you'll see more clubs in financial trouble in the future, because it's just the way football's going to go. You're going to have to start investing in talent younger and younger, earlier and earlier, to secure your financial freedom, bro. That's just Chelsea are setting, for me, what it looks like to me anyway. Chelsea are setting the groundwork for football business for the next 10 years, bro. Everyone's going to be doing this. All of a sudden, you're seeing clubs like Liverpool, they're buying Rio and Gomez, and this person's buying this young player from Brighton or Newcastle. Bro, this is the way football's going. And Chelsea, for me, are at the forefront of doing that. I think they can do it whilst winning, because the squad they've got is actually going through difficult times. They're growing, they're learning, they're building. We've seen them losing the Carabao Cup to winning the Club World Cup. You don't do that if the environment and the players you've got and the things aren't working. It doesn't happen. So for me, you've actually got both things working at the same time. I think it's only going to go from strength to strength. That's me personally.
At what point, though, do you sort of have to, if indeed it exists, at what point do you have to sort of go, right, that was all well and good, and that was lovely, and that we've won the football financial award, whatever. But at what point do you sort of go, right, and now it's time to win the title? Because
we don't.
Pardon?
We don't. But me personally, yeah, look, and this could upset a lot of people. But let me just speak from me personally, yeah. Every team, yeah, it's like a show. Everybody has a role to play. Chelsea's role is not to be the most dominant club in England for me. It isn't. It's to win a couple trophies. Yeah, for me, it isn't.
What?
Remember, that's your opinion. This is mine.
What?
That's your opinion. This is mine.
Okay, now it makes sense.
Because I don't look at
sense.
football as just a fan. I understand that clubs are businesses, bro. So if you want to keep the business going, you don't have to win the league to be in a strong position going into market.
So you don't care about winning the Premier League?
I would rather win the Champions League 2 times than win the league. Yeah, 100%.
I don't
I don't care about the league, me personally, no.
Okay, so change my question to, can you have this model and can you win the Champions League, do you think?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Because we just won the Club World Cup when we just beat PSG. And before we beat PSG, and I know everyone's saying it's a preseason trophy. However, before we play PSG, everyone said Chelsea ain't got a sniff. And I'm only saying this because someone called me a delusional Chelsea fan the other day. I am delusional. But the reason why I'm delusional, right, is because I've seen my club do this for 2 decades. We fail, then we win. We fail, then we win. So for me, I'm not looking for dominance for Chelsea.
I'm going to challenge that. You haven't seen your club doing the financial model they've done now and win multiple Champions Leagues.
No, we haven't. You're absolutely right. But do I think we can do that? Yes, because as I'm saying, like I've just seen us beat PSG, and then I've seen us win the Conference League, like confidently. And I know that's not a big trophy, but the way we won it, we were consistently good. So that tells me something there is working. The mentality of the players, the effort, the commitment of the players, as well as the manager, something is working. So do I think in the next 5-6 years we'll win the league title? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we won 2 or 3. But do I need it over a Champions League? No, I don't. Me personally, I don't really care about the league because Europe's bigger. So win me a Champions League. My problem
with that is that you guys have this. You guys are building a spine capable of dominating the league. So if we do it, to not capitalize on that would be insane.
No, but hear me. I'm not saying that I don't want to win it. I'm just saying if we do, cool. But for me, I'll take 2 Champions Leagues over the league. I don't care about the league. I've seen my team win the league. I want to win Europe after Europe after Europe. You know why?
Not caring about the league is
crazy. Why I can't agree with you?
Yeah,
I think you're. It's weird because you started off with saying you don't care about us winning anything, and then I was like,
no, I never said that.
That's very confusing. And then you've kind of gone with I think we'll win the Champions League more than we win the Premier League, which is okay. No,
I didn't say either of those 2 statements. By the way, I didn't say we will win it more than that. I said in the next 5 to 6 years, if we win 2 or 3 Premier Leagues, I wouldn't be surprised because of what we've built. What I'm saying though is I understand that right now Chelsea have built a system where they are taking control of the market. That's what they're trying to do. And as business people, that makes sense. The football will be a byproduct of whatever we build. So for me, not winning the league is not as big a deal for me as it is winning the Champions League. Because if we're going to build a squad that is going to dominate, my personal thingy would be I would rather win the Champions League than the league. Yeah. But do I think we've got the squad capable of winning the league? Not now, but in the next couple of years, yeah, for sure. But I never said I don't want to win it, and I never said I don't care. I'm just saying Champions League is a priority for me, and I understand what Chelsea are doing is they're building a model that works for them financially because football is a business, and you can win the league and you can fumble. Look at Leicester.
So your business over football currently.
If I want to see my team continue to be in the conversation of trying to win trophies for the next 20, 30 years, I have to look at business over football. Yeah, I have to.
It's just again. I'm not saying it doesn't make any sense. It's just that I personally disagree with it. I personally think that what the club's done is that we're now in a position where if we have signed the right players, we will have those elite level players in the next 2 or 3 years, but they're already at the club, and we don't have to go and spend 8-9
yeah.
And then once you have those upper level of older players, then you keep signing the youngsters, because the older players you've got will then build your new spine for when the older players then eventually phase themselves out. That's what I believe our model is. If we've done that, then we'll be in the position to win the Premier League, Champions League, etc.
I look at it this way: you're entitled to not care, because I will be honest with you, we now live in a world where I think people have, during the fan content era, it's either fake or it's been discovered. You know how like there's probably a fish somewhere that's never been seen by even David Attenborough, but it's actually there, right? So it's either we've discovered these things or people are lying. When people do the whole I only support football to watch my team win trophies, the reason why I never actually believe that to a certain degree is that's not what you start watching football for. Like I take my kid who's 5 to football. All the kids in there, they want to win the little games, they want to do this, want to do that. But when I chat to some of the kids and the parents, like, what players you like? Would you like this? You like that? Do you like that? Not one kid has ever gone, yeah, I just love the fact that my team win trophies. It's all that this player, the way my team plays, there's banter and camaraderie within it. So I don't necessarily believe that everyone feels that way. That being said, if it's a newfound thing, we've suddenly seen 40 and 50-year-olds that have never said it before go, actually, that's all that matters. I'm like, cool. If we can accept that winning a Carabao Cup this year and coming 19th is better than challenging for the Premier League, if we can believe that exists, then we have to at least allow Quest to believe that, to view, not to believe, but to view it as, I don't care if my team dominates or not. All that being said, Chelsea are building something to try and dominate. I look at what Chelsea are doing, and it's a little bit like Dortmund's model, but with money. It's where you're buying these young talents, but you're only going to sell the ones on that are not good enough where you can turn a profit on. The real top class players, you're going to want to make part of your first team for many, 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 many years to come. So you may not care about dominating, but I think your club's trying to do it. I think your club.
Oh, no, by the way, I don't think they're not trying to do that. And that's what my first point was about, why we're going to keep buying those young players, because that is what helps you dominate. I just said it's a byproduct. It's a byproduct of whatever we're building. Like, we're only going to dominate if we have these players in place and if we have this position where we can control our destiny in the market. If we don't control our destiny in the market, I've seen Chelsea do this before, where we've bought the big pieces, we've tried to sign the big talent and flop. That's why I like the model we're doing now. I just don't think it's going to guarantee that we're going to dominate. And if it was my choice, I'd rather dominate Europe than England. Yeah, 100%. So that's
what I would say to go against your point is that I think I'd only be accepting of this business model that because I can see what it's leading to in terms of what I think it's going to do in terms of our squad being very, very good. If it was a good business model, but it wouldn't produce elite level football, a la Spurs and Daniel Levy, they make loads of money, but they don't produce on the pitch, I would not be happy with it. Because business-wise, Spurs are amazing.
But do you think it's possible for Chelsea to go that way, to become a Spurs, to become an Arsenal?
Because our owners want to win. I don't believe Spurs' owners want to win enough.
I think they want to win. I just think it's not in the fabric.
Spurs' owners are like, if we make enough money, we're fine. If we win, it's a bonus. Okay. I think Chelsea's owners are like, we want to make money and we want to win, but the reason we're making our money is to help us win. Spurs we're making money to help we're making money to keep the club going and to keep us rich, and then the winning is a byproduct. Whereas for us, I feel like it's like business and football go hand in hand. If the business stuff is going well, then our football stuff will be going well because of the talent we're signing. Spurs is not doing that. Spurs we're making money and we're not spending it on football. But yeah. Interesting. But I got what you were trying to say. You just the way you started off with it, it was like, I don't care about winning, and I was like, whoa.
I hear this. Terry is talking about the British mentality. It's taking part of the counts about the winning. Let me ask you all a question. Do you guys know why football was invented? Not when, but why football was invented.
Depends what you read, to be honest. But Tell us.
Working class people who wanted to have fun and vibes together. I don't know.
Part of that, but football was initially invented because of cricket clubs. So it was a winter sport that was sort of spawned from that because they wanted their players to stay fitter throughout the winter months. So when people go, football's all about winning, I understand it is at the elite level and you want to win, but it wasn't even invented to win. It was invented to keep people fit. And it's progressed since there. And of course, times change, things migrate, things. So this is what I get really frustrated about. Like working class communities, yes, they wanted to beat other working class communities when the club started. But a lot of that was about pride and about representation. And it was about just representing your local area. You know, you didn't need to win to be a local hero as well. And I'm not saying that things can't evolve and things change, but that's the one thing I push back on, this sudden idea that unless my team's winning trophies, things don't matter. I've always been a bit funny about that personally. It doesn't mean you shouldn't want to win the trophies. I just feel like that. I don't know. I feel like I do know, actually. I feel like in the social media era, things have become far too polarized. It's either this or it's that. And I'm like, I just can't live in a world like that personally. So this Chelsea fan basically says the Champions League teams are easier to play against than the Premier League teams.
I never said that, by the way. I never said it's easier. I understand it's easier to beat Brentford than it is to beat PSG. But my point is, especially, this is the thing, comments like that, yeah, are perfect, because if I go into a football argument with somebody like this and I've won the league, but let's say Liverpool won the Europe, they'll say Chelsea's not the best team in Europe. Even though we've won the league in our space, they'll say Liverpool's the best. So that's why I'm saying arguments like this, when Chelsea win the Champions League, further reinforce my point to people that support clubs where you're begging for your team to win. My team winning Champions Leagues and Club World Cups and all these things further help my argument to say, listen, we're the best ever. We're the best in the world. We're the best thing. Winning the league is cool. I'll be honest, I'm a little bit scarred anyway. I got PTSD because Pep's here. So for me, I'm just like, as long as Pep is around, I'm a little bit like, listen, let's just wait till this guy goes, man, and then we can think about dominating, because really it's him and one other person, and I don't see our club being there. But I definitely don't think it's easier. That's just, bro, people are just hearing what they want to hear, man. But it's all right, man. It's all right.
It's a weird one, isn't it? Because I heard Jamie Carragher once say that winning the Champions League's harder. That's why, like, teams like Real Madrid have 30-odd league titles, but only 13, 14 Champions Leagues. And I don't necessarily agree with that. Cup football is different to league football, because you could, the best team in the world could be having a bad couple of weeks and get knocked out of a cup competition. Equally, you know, when Chelsea won the Champions League, those nights you were really good. And other teams might have been a little bit off it. These things happen, man. It's like Man City when we beat them in the FA Cup final a few years back. If they played to their optimum best on that day, they would beat us nine times out of 10. I wouldn't say we were lucky, because we were very good on the day, but there's always that element there. We're not suddenly better. Do you know what I mean? No one's ever said the FA Cup's harder to win than the league. Do you know what I mean? Because no one's got 20 FA Cups. No, that's never been said. It's a really weird thing that Jamie Carragher said there. But he'll change his mind now that they've got the same amount of league titles as United. If they win this year and go 21, he'll say the league's harder. He'll change his mind.
He was also wrong, because Forest have won more Champions Leagues than leagues.
The league title. Oh, well, there we go. You forgot how poor Chelsea were for 2 or 3 months, is what Seb says here.
Oh, is he talking about the December stretch?
Yeah, when we had loads of injuries, but we don't talk about injuries because that's not a contributing factor. So no, we were poor, but you know what I mean. Like, it's what it is. You know what I mean. There's nothing I can say about that. This here says, as an Arsenal fan, I'm jealous of Chelsea's strategy. Once the farm is set financially and move up the wage scale, they are going to be even more dangerous.
Yeah, that's if that happens, though. I'm still not convinced. I'm still not 100% sure that they're going to do that.
I'd still argue that keeping it the way it is probably might arguably be the best.
I think you'd need to get those final pieces at a certain point. You're going to reach a point where, like, you're going to need two world-class players to complete the squad to try and go for like doubles and stuff.
I think there's a world where that does happen, but I don't think that's dramatically changing what we're doing. Because for me, a dramatic change would be we'd now go and sign 5 players, 6 players, 7 players who now are 28 years old in the peak of their careers, going for titles. I think we might sign 1 or 2 maybe, but overwhelmingly, it would still be 23 and under. So.
Some breaking news here in relation to Arsenal. Arsenal have turned down a loan with a 27 million euro obligation to buy Kiwior from Porto.
They turned it down.
Yeah, hell yeah.
What?
That's strange.
You kidding me? Of course he turned that down.
Take the money and run.
No,
Take the money and run.
no way.
That's strange.
Kiwior is exactly who I want as a backup. You know,
and this is why you're not. This is why you're little bro. You don't.
Okay.
I hear it.
You got to look at the bigger picture here. Kiwior.
Do you understand
Kiwior.
why? So who like Kiwior literally comes into our squad and does exactly what he needs to do every single time. 2 years, like when we were chasing Man City, he came in and he did his job, and we went on that amazing run. Last year, you know, Gabriel got injured. He comes in, he does his job. That's the kind of player you need. You're not gonna get someone cheaper than Kiwior right now to come in to do what he does. We need to be spending the money in the attack. Why am I selling a defender to buy another defender now? I need to be selling my attackers.
He's a good fourth choice. If I was Arsenal, I'd keep him. It's like a good fourth choice.
He's good where he is.
Just Snobbins. Just hear me out. Hello. Okay, fine. If they turn this down, but in next week they get 32 mil obligation to buy, I hear it. But if they're keeping him, nah, let him go. You got this Mosquera kid who apparently is fabled to be the next great centre back out of Spain. So let him take the minutes and then use that money to go upgrade.
There's another offer. There's also another bomb. This is from Ornstein. This one, Stuttgart are pursuing a deal to sign Fabio Vieira from Arsenal. The 25-year-old attacking midfielder spent last season on loan. The approach relates to a permanent move. No guarantees yet, but talks with Arsenal continue. So it does feel like Arsenal are now starting to get those offers in, Cal, for players, because I know you guys want to go and get at least one more, maybe two more signings, but there's the Kiwior things picking up a bit of pace. There's Fabio Vieira. There's obviously Zinchenko and Reece Nelson to Fulham. But are you wanting to see some really good fees here? Because you guys are a little like Man United. You often sell so cheaply.
To be honest, we're pretty unfortunate with our selling this year, just because the players that went out on loan, no one's talking about this, but the players that we wanted to sell went out on loan last year, and every single one of them got injured. Fabio Vieira got injured. Reece Nelson got injured. Lokonga got injured. So when you're trying to sell players, they don't belong in the squad. You put them on loan so they can, get game time, and maybe you get a fee for them, and they go out there and they get injured. You can't really sell them for much. Gabriel Jesus is also injured, and we want to sell him, So, we should be getting better fees for them, but they're literally injury prone players. Any fee that we get for some of these guys, I'm happy with, to be honest. Players like Kiwior, who are actually doing his job in the squad and isn't on high wages and is reliable, because a lot of our defenders are picking up injuries. I mean, Gabriel and Timber haven't showed up for a single preseason game because they've been kind of injured. So I think I don't want to sell players like Kiwior because he's just good for the squad. I want to be selling Vieiras, Lokongas, Nelsons, those kind of guys, and because they're injury prone, we're not going to get good fees for them. It's just not going to happen.
Fabrizio just updated saying Kiwior's Arsenal future remains open. Arteta wants to keep him, but the player is pushing for more game time.
Yeah,
that's the one thing I would say.
Let him go, get your bread. What are you doing? We're keeping Kiwior.
20 million euros, dude. Are you serious? I can't be selling it.
The obligation was 27, no?
27.
Yeah, take the money and run. Take the money and run.
Yeah, but that's 27 in a year's time, bro. Today's money's not tomorrow's money, man.
Yeah, and
look at these Chelsea players.
Every time they go out on loan, they get injured. They're going to get less money next year.
I actually hear his point. It kind of makes no sense to sell him. It makes no sense to sell him. Because if he's a good backup, 20 mil is literally,
we're not going to replace him. We're going to have to spend double to replace him, honestly.
Yeah, it makes.
You've already got the backup. You've got the backup.
Mascara is not Mascara was to cover Tomiyasu, because Tomiyasu left the club.
Tomiyasu's covering what? Tomiyasu wasn't there.
Because we're already short. We're already short players. Like, we can't be. We need, like, Arteta's been yelling, we need more players. We need more players. We can't be selling the guys that are actually, not injured.
But we need more. You're looking at that young. You are looking. I think you sell him in the end. You're looking at that young player, aren't you? I can't remember his name, but there's that young kid, another young centre back you're looking at. And
I mean,
you got to remember his current market value is 28 million euros. You bought him for 19 million. That does represent not even on net spend, right? But that, because you obviously paid quite a bit of that off in the last 2 years. You probably only owe about 5 million on him. You'd make a good 20+ million profit on this. It's good for the old PSR, and then you can reinvest it.
Yeah, I guess. I really like.
Oh, hang on. Fabrizio's now retweeting all these old Kiwior tweets. You know what that means?
Oh no.
He's on his way. He's on his way. He's on his way.
I actually really like Kiwior. He's one of those guys in the squad that he just comes in, he does his job. He's never injured. He doesn't complain. Yeah, and I think he's just underrated.
So you get rid of this. If you got rid of this sentiment, you'd do better. You'd be better off.
No, there's a lot of players I get rid of. I get rid of a lot of players out of more than him. Like, there's a lot of players I get rid of. Like
this here says Kiwior is the perfect backup. If sales are made, none of them should be defensive. Sell Vieira, Nelson, Trossard, one of them. But the thing is, the player is pushing because he wants game time. I would be saying to the player's agent, go and get us 35 million pounds, and then we'll think about it. Get your money up. Get your money up.
If we're getting like to 30 million pounds for him, then I'd be like, okay, yeah, get rid of him. But not for 20 million euros. Nothing like that, man.
Oh, this is an interesting super chat.
Terry, relax, man.
Terry, can you explain how you keep saying not selling at a loss, but then keep saying net spend is not real? Not trying to catch you out. No, you can't catch me out on it. So when I say net spend, we can't suddenly migrate what net spend means. Net spend, how it's used in the media, is Kiwior bought for 19 million, sold for 27 million. Net spend would say you've made an 8 million euro profit. But net spend isn't how clubs calculate, because of the way they recognize a player as an asset, how they depreciate them, and how they're used and they help the team, right? So they're like an employee, as an example. So then what? Well, they are an employee, literally. So when you sell him, it's about the book value versus what you make. So Arsenal owe about 5 million euros on Kiwior. So if they sell him, the profit on this year's trading accounts is somewhere in the region of 22 million euros, not the 8 million euros that net spend would give you. So, for instance, with Rasmus Højlund, we bought him for 70 mil. If we sold him for 50 million, we would make 10 million pound profit on him this year, because we've paid down some of his. It wouldn't be a 20 million pounds loss with net spend, the way that the newspapers do it. It's all about the book value, how much you owe on the player, essentially, versus what you're bringing in that trading year. That is what the clubs use to determine whether or not it's a profit or a loss. Plus what you owe, because you still need to keep paying that player even once they've left your clubs. If you buy a player and you're paying 20 million a year for 5 years and you sell him after 2 years, you still owe 60 million pound on that player. You still got to pay that to the football club. They're essentially your creditor. They're a creditor to you. So that's the difference, my friend. I hope that makes sense. So you have to look at the book value of the player, which is why you can't just sell. I'm not worried about the net spend on Rasmus. I'm worried about the actual losses we'd make on him, and we'd make around 40 million loss if we sold him at 10 million. You'd get about 6 million back in salary, so you'd lose about 34 million pound. I'm not prepared to lose 34 million pound on him. Broja for 25 million plus 5 in add-ons, 40 million euros. Broja 25, should we 2020? Yeah, and some of these guys are one or two of them is academy as well. So yeah, that's going to be great for you guys. Oh, this is interesting. Wasted 60 million on Cunha on a position where we have Bruno, Mount, Mainu. Mainu's not a 10. Mbumo and Ahmad for the right. It's like Alexis in 2018. We don't need a right winger because we don't. Oh no, like Alexis Sanchez when we needed a right winger. If you believe that, you believe that. I'm going to give it a little bit more time to cook, my friend. What does this say here? During Arsenal's recruitment of sorry, I already did that super chat a little earlier on today, and that one. Where is it reported, Terry, that Isak exit is accepted? Well, there's two reports actually. We're going to get onto that now. Craig Hope has said that everything is now pointing to the fact that Alexander Isak has played his last game for Liverpool. That was also echoed. A similar sentiment was echoed by David Ornstein earlier on today that says Newcastle understand that a deal for Isak might have to be done. For all parties, a solution must be found because the current situation cannot continue. So I think it's very interesting. So that for me, when I'm reading that, very much reads as per my title that there is an acceptance that the deal has got to happen. Do you all agree with that sentiment? Do you think there's almost this, because Newcastle's press has gone from he isn't for sale, no, nothing's going to change our minds, to now Craig Hope and the majority of the reporters from Newcastle sort of saying, yeah, we think he's played his last game. We think he's going to move. You know, they're the ones that have actually played down Liverpool pulling out of the deal more so than the Liverpool press. What's everyone's thoughts on this?
Player power is at its highest. It's almost like a guarantee now that he's going to go, isn't it? He's sort of like made it untenable for Newcastle to keep him. Whether you think that's right or wrong is irrelevant. That's what's happened. It seems like inevitable now that he's just going to go because, again, like Newcastle, do they really want to keep this player who clearly does not want to be there, does not want to play for them? Is there going to be like a potential dressing room problem? Because I think, wasn't there a thing how the Newcastle players actually requested Isak didn't join them on their pre-season tour because of everything that was happening? I think I remember reading that. I don't think that's fake news. So if he did stay, all the players will know that the diamond of their squad doesn't even want to be there. I think that just creates ruptures in the dressing room, as I say. So yes, it has come to the point where if you're a Newcastle fan, you've sort of got to view it as try to get like a British record fee for him. But as I say, it's nearly an untenable situation now, isn't it? I can't foresee anything else other than Isak leaves Newcastle based on that.
Yeah, I agree.
What do you make of the player power stuff? Because Simon Jordan and a lot of people in the media are really calling Liverpool out. They're saying it's disgraced the way they've carried on. The players' behaviour's bad. How do you see it, Kate? Do you think that Liverpool and Isak should feel shame for their behaviour, as many are pointing to?
No, I don't. I don't think there's anything wrong. I think it happens all the time. It was like with Tottenham with Morgan Gibbs-White. At the end of the day, if the player had turned around and said to Marinakis that he wants to leave and dug his heels in and created a scene, by rights he could have left. We triggered the release clause, whatever. Isak wants to go. He wants to better himself. Their careers are so short. Liverpool have done nothing wrong. For me, I mean, you might as well just give Liverpool the league now because once they sign Isak, I can't see anything or anyone stopping them. I think it'll be an unbelievable signing, as well as Ekitike as well. So, no, I don't think... I think the only reason people moan is when it's not our club doing it. If it was our club doing it, we'd all be over the moon. So, I don't think there's anything wrong with it at all.
Yeah, It's tough. I want to believe he's not going to go just for the sake of balance in the league. Like if anybody knows anything about the NBA, there was a time when Chris Paul could have gone to the Lakers. The league was like, no, you can't do that. That's cheating. So if the Prem could do that, I'd just be like, yeah, we're not going to let you do that because that ruins the fun of the league. Then by all means, but I think when you get to a situation when you're going, do you know what? I'm not actually going to go on. I'm not going to train with you guys. I'm going to go train at a different club. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. You kind of put yourself in a position where you kind of have to leave. So unfortunately, I'm going to say he doesn't move, but that's more hope than anything else. So yeah,
I think he doesn't move if Liverpool don't pay at least 130 million. I don't think they're going to sell him for anything less than that. And if they do, if Newcastle sells Alexander Isak for less than 130 million pounds when he has 3 years left in his contract, it's like this has to be like the worst window for them I've ever. And I've never seen a club bullied like this in a window in my life. I've never seen like a club trying to move forward and losing all of their targets to someone else, and they're getting their best player taken from them. It's just a sad sight, you know. But I'm not a Duma fan that thinks that just because, you know, Liverpool gets Isak, the league's over. I think they're massive favorites, but, you know, unfortunately, football's played on the pitch. So yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think he's gone, man. I think he's gone. I think they're starting to sort of prepare themselves to do the as you say, the sort of he's going for a high fee to try and ease the blow. You know what I mean? So it's tough. If I was Newcastle, I would feel aggrieved at the way he's leaving, because I'd be like, why are you forcing yourself out? I thought you loved us. But this is what I mean. Like, players, they have to think of themselves before they think of the club. And if they do think of the club, great. But at the end of the day, they're employed there. It's not like they're owned by them. So if I was a Newcastle fan, I'd feel aggrieved. But equally, as not a Newcastle fan, I'm like, hey, he's doing the right thing for his career. If this was a Chelsea player, depending on who it was, like I'd be mad. I'm not gonna lie. I'd be like, why is he doing it? And the report on if his teammates are saying they don't want him to be, that would kill me. Because then I'll be like, okay, so this is bad now. I do think it's ironic though that if Liverpool do get him, I think most people will feel like the league is gone, which is exactly why I say sometimes I just look at the league and think, just forget it, man. Let's let it go. But it's sad either way, because this is a window where Newcastle seem to have just been, you know, that Lamar song back in the day, if there's any justice in the world, you know, like if there was any justice.
Lamar's my boy, man. Yeah. Lamar's my boy.
Isak wouldn't go. If there was any justice in the world,
I've actually got a signed disc from Lamar on my wall in my studio right here.
Hey, man.
Love that guy.
If there was any justice, he'll go for 160 mil. Yeah, and a player the other way, or he just don't leave, because this is an injustice. And actually, like Liverpool fans, I'm not getting onto you, but all of this talk about Real Madrid tapping up Trent and listen, I know that if Isak is twerking this bad for Liverpool, they must have been in his ear for a while, because I don't think a player 100%. Does this if he doesn't think a move is on the cards. So I'm just saying this to you, Liverpool fans, the ones that were with Jamie Carragher talking about, tell us how to feel. Hey, just know that Isak was probably, you know what I mean, making some phone calls at the Premier Inn. So
I mean, Isak's account, he's got like a 200-day streak on Duolingo for scouts. So of course that it makes sense. So like,
valid. If there's any justice, man. # justice for Newcastle right now.
Yeah, it feels a little peak for Newcastle right now, doesn't it? They're going through it, man. They're, as Amorim would say, they're suffering right now. But I also feel like saying to some of their fans, like, welcome to the big time. Because this is kind of normal, man. This is kind of normal. City and Chelsea, they did have a slight advantage when they got their money, that their owners were allowed to spend all of it. So it was harder to prize their assets away. But all of us get our big assets and our best players linked to other clubs all the time. Oh, my God, that would be such a great... I don't know who shot that. So, yeah, I feel a little bit sorry for them. At the same time, I don't remember a summer when Man United were good. I don't remember a summer where Beckham and Stam and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Rooney and Ronaldo, they're always linked to other clubs. But, you know, Scott, the only players that weren't really were, it's funny really, because people go, well, Scholes couldn't have been that good because no one wanted to buy him. It's because he just used to tell the other clubs, literally, this has been quoted as fact. If you want me to play for your club, you better buy Man United. So, of course, no one approaches them because they literally weren't going to leave. But yeah, just Newcastle, man. Strap in, get used to. I remember a Spurs mate of mine, Martin, was annoyed once. Do you remember when you guys already had some injuries, Kate, and Dawson got into the England squad? Do you remember? And then he got injured during the time of the England squad. My mate was moaning and crying about like, oh, this is horrible. I don't like the fact that it's a disgrace that we've lost a player. And I went, bruv, you've been a crap team for 15 years. I said, now that you're good, your players get on international duty. I said, deal with it. The amount of us that have lost players during international breaks because they play for their countries. This is the issue when you go from being a crap team to a much better team to a good team, is there's always more risk your players are poached. There's new agents and they become more famous. They become stars. They've got new agents and people offering them deals and all these types of things. There's so many more distractions and stuff that can get in your way. That's the element of being a successful club that's more stressful than a less successful football club. But yeah, like I don't know. I feel a little sorry for him, but not too much in relation to that. But yeah, I think it's done. I just wish that Liverpool now would get it. I mean, do you guys think that Liverpool are waiting until Newcastle find a replacement, or do you think a bid might come in before that?
No, I think they're waiting until they get a replacement, because I don't think they'll let him go until they get that replacement in. How can you let Isak go and not have anyone there to take his place? You can't, can you? So
No.
I think they're waiting.
Well,
It's a shame.
the thing is, they can just hold, because Isak's not going to take a year out of football to like sit on the bench at Newcastle. He will get integrated back in, and I don't think Newcastle have like a player issue where it's like, oh, if you all throw tantrums and you all say you're not going to play, then it's going to need to. I don't think they've got that issue, so they can hold and be like proud with it and see how long they can hold on to it. But
yeah,
How far did the Harry Kane to Man City thing? How did that get this far?
He trained away from Spurs, didn't he, Kate, for a bit of time? But it was only a week. I think it was only like a week or so. I don't think he did what Isak did, where he like totally didn't go on the tour or anything. So I don't think it was quite to this level.
But Kane was twerking though. Do you not remember that interview he did with Gary Neville? And they were walking, and he was like, "Yeah, I can't. The dream of playing with players like KDB." I'm thinking, brother, if I see you at White Hart Lane after this,
I don't know. I don't follow these guys, but they always come on my timeline. I saw this video of that Ed Matthews, and what's the name of his mate? Something Tiki Toki.
Oh, Tiki Toki.
They were talking to these two girls. They're chatting. It reminded me of that Harry Kane interview. They were talking to these two girls, and this guy, he took this girl's number, and it was like, basically, you and your girl gonna come back with us and all this, and they're like, yeah. And then some bloke does this and sticks his head in between them and goes, "She's my girlfriend," and he just turned around and he just turned around and was like, "Bruv, you even look like a cuck," and then carried on. And it isn't nice. And I think the guys, listen, they're youngsters, they're doing their thing. But it just reminded me of that Harry Kane thing where he was with another club, but the way he was just talking about it. But you guys got your own back today. Daniel Levy did a Gary Neville interview, didn't he? Oh, Levy boy.
Yeah, he done it it aired this morning.
What is he saying for himself?
Not a lot, really. He was talking about the cost of the stadium. He was talking about multi-club ownership, sustainability in football. Thomas Frank, and it was all very basic. There was no tricky questions in there. It was all very scripted and disappointing. I was bored, if you want to know the truth. He said he wants to win the league, but he hasn't said when. So I hope I'm alive to see it, that's for sure. But yeah, it was all a bit tame.
Yeah, fair dues. Before we wrap up, obviously news today, Nobbins, that your boys are going to be re-signing Ruben Dias. Him and, of course, Maya Jama will remain at the club.
Yeah. No, yeah, good. Yeah, lovely. There's been lots of negativity about Ruben Dias in the City fan base. I think that's just a reactive response to last season's defensive woes, but I'm not going to forget that the player that he was for us, went a bit out, excluding last season. Very happy with it. One of our leaders, one of our captains, very good defender, and his contracts. I also saw a tweet how we're also apparently stepping up attempts to extend Foden and Rodri as well, and all their contracts expire in 2027. So yeah, 3 key players, vital to keep them at the club. Yeah, very happy with that. Yeah, that's good, lovely. I don't think we're expecting any more incoming, so that's very good.
I didn't even know he was with Maya Jama. I thought she was still with Stormzy. I'm so behind.
No, Ruben Dias is
Ruben Dias. Ruben Dias is living a good life right now. New deal, playing for City. Like, none of that's as good as being with Maya Jama. I think that's even better than the Prem, man. Do you know what I mean?
He's punching. Let me tell you, he's proper punching.
Ruben Dias is a very lovely man.
I saw him dressed up like out, and I saw him dressed in normal clothes, not a football kit, and I was like, I kind of see it, you know what I mean? And by the way, I don't need to say no diddy or no homo because I'm not insecure about my sexuality like you silly little sausages. Do you know what I mean?
He is a very good looking man. There's nothing wrong with saying that. He is quite beautiful.
There is nothing wrong with saying it, but we on social media now, everyone, because people are insecure about how it might sound. They go, but no diddy. I don't. That makes me worry. Like that makes me worry that you're holding something back, bro. That makes me think, oh no, you know what? You're holding back. Let yourself out. I think anyone who gets freaked out by that stuff is holding back their true self. Let it out, man. Especially if especially here, it's free society. Be what you want, man. Be what you want. So if you're triggered by it, what you're hiding? What you're hiding is my question to you. Oh, big update from Fabrizio here. He says Chelsea always had exits as a priority before getting Xavi Simons, and he's just listed all the players that are now about to leave. Xavi made it clear to Leipzig he wants to leave, so it looks like you're going to get the here we go on that soon as well. Well done,
Can I just say the only one I'm worried about is Sterling. I've not heard a lot. I know there's full.
You're not getting rid of that guy.
Hey, if we don't get rid of Sterling,
we're getting rid of Sterling.
I'm not getting rid of that guy.
I don't know who's got the money.
Sterling would be a very good Son replacement.
I knew you were going to say that, Terry, and you can shut right up now. But that's the sort of thing Levy would do to us.
They took Timo Werner, so it's not out of the question.
Do you know what though? Do you know what? I think it would be funny just to see whether in his interview, if he does the whole, you're going to see the best version of Raheem Sterling again. I just want to hear him say that again.
I just don't want to think about Sterling.
You honestly believe that Chelsea can't get rid of Raheem Sterling?
Listen, I don't know who wants him. So it's not. I believe Chelsea could flog a coffin to a dead man, yeah, already. But what I'm saying is,
no, they need one. They need one, but that's. You mean they can sell water? They can sell water to a drowning man. Is more it?
No, but I'm saying like he can't buy it because he's gone. But I'm just saying, you know what I mean? I just don't know how. You know what I'm trying to say, man.
Chelsea could sell me for $1 million. I'm convinced Chelsea could sell me for $1 million. Now,
Sterling might be the only one, yeah. That I just
after that Arsenal campaign, like everyone saw what he is. I don't think he won a single 1v1 in the entire year. Like Sterling was just too. Like he lost. Like
have this belief, but when he's gone,
you remember like when Lil Bow Wow got his shoes taken away from him and he couldn't play like like Mike anymore. That's literally what happened to Sterling, bro. Like
when's his contract expire?
And he just finished.
2092. 2092.
Hey.
There we go. Look, guys, I want to thank you all for coming on. I want to thank all of our viewers. This is going to redirect you to Hassam's channel, so go and support him. We're back live later tonight with more content for you. But until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll be seeing you all again very, very soon. Peace.